Alright, let's do a video journal. So, what did I do today? Today I spent a lot of time on putting together the hardware components that I ordered today. So, I spent like a lot of time. I was kind of overthinking a bit, but eventually I just ordered it. So, a lot of hardware components are on their way. I can't wait to learn more about hardware and electronics and start building cool stuff alongside Cadastre. With Cadastre, I did implement another sets of features which should increase the improve the user experience, and I'll be doing more testing now. Today's Sunday, so I didn't really spend that much time thinking about posting or outreach, as I won't be like reaching out to them today anyway. So I'll be looking more into that tomorrow, or maybe before I go to sleep. And I'll also test out the features I have implemented, and I'll also test out with more documents, more messy documents. And yeah, so like 2 days ago also I went to another event called like AI X Manufacturing. Towards the end, I met an interesting guy who's in like deep tech, like in space tech. He's basically working on heat pipes which are used in radiators to cool down electric components in space. So it was like really cool meeting him. I didn't thought that I would meet someone in space tech. I could like relate to a lot of things we were talking about. He also knew some things about real estate, so it was kind of cool. He was on the same like wavelength or something. So yeah, I was kind of underestimating what is happening in India when it comes to like space tech. I was just focusing on what SpaceX is doing, what Blue Origin is doing, but I wasn't really looking at companies which are operating at a smaller scale in the US or and especially in India. So that kind of opened my eyes about that. I have started to get into more electronics and hardware. Slowly, I'll also learn more about that. Also, I had another realization about being more exploratory rather than being like too narrow. So like for almost past year, I've been just focusing on like one or two things at a time, mostly like one thing at a time. But now I think about it, I don't think it's really a good idea. Like nailing down or narrowing down on one thing makes sense once you are sure that this is the thing that you want to work on. But at least initially you gotta be in more of a exploratory phase where you are trying out different things, because you don't want to like get older and then 10 years later realize, oh, I could have gone into this field, but I never really explored that because I was just too focused on this one thing. And I have kind of already made that mistake earlier, maybe in my like mid-teens. I'm not a teenager anymore, but like I'm 20 now. So like I already feel a pain for making that mistake, not being more exploratory. I could have learned about so many things in the past, but I didn't, because either I was doing some useless bullshit or I was just focused on one thing, and in my free time I was just not doing anything. And after this like realization, I'll be focusing more on learning more about hardware, also working on other software projects, also looking at other parts of technology, how environment and space affects like electronic components and biology and everything. So it would be better for me prefer in long term to learn about as many things as I can rather than narrowing on one thing. Because for past few months I was making the same mistake. I was like focusing too much on cadastre, and on the other time I wasn't really like doing that much. And working on cadastre slowly becomes boring and kind of draining, because real estate is not something that I'm that interested in. It's just a way for me to generate some cash flow. So it would be also good for me mentally that along with building something that generates cash flow, I'm also exploring my other interest and following my curiosity. Because it's very easy to say, oh, I'll explore hardware after I generate some cash flow, because that way I would have like money to like invest in hardware. But that's just an excuse to put things off, because you don't really need that much money to get into hardware. You can just start small and scale up as you go, because you are more in the exploratory phase. So I don't need to like wait for generating some significant amount of cash flow in order to like invest and turn it into hardware. I can just start small and scale up as I go, because that's what exploration is. You're not going like to the deep end right away. Also, when it comes to working on cadastre, I had my ups and downs, but I gotta like move with a more speed. I gotta be like consciously aware, because my routine was kind of draining, so I had a like a down phase. But yeah, I think it's like going up now, as I have like started going to events, socializing, exploring my curiosity or following my curiosity, rather than just being boxed into like one thing and getting bored and drained or burned out. I don't really think I have ever burned out. I think I can push myself way harder than I think I can. But yeah, like my product is pretty much like there. So like all I need to focus on is getting demos and some pilots, get some initial users, and we'll be good to go. And alongside that, also explore other areas. So if you want to do another thing right away, you can do that, and it would be also like good for your mental health, because you're also like doing things that genuinely interest you. And another thing that I have started doing recently is I have like started going to events every week or every other week, which is really good. I'm able to meet like new people I didn't thought I would be able to meet here. Like Ahmedabad is pretty diverse place. I can meet good people. It's really big city. It's quite messy, but it's quite chaotic, but I can meet like good people there. So yeah.